This is Dumbed Down Life number 31.
Shut all the time. I try to warn you not to push me. Was not my fault. What happened next? I was out of control. The rage is feeling my mind. The music kept getting louder. Then I was blind. Just out of control. I was seeing the red. The guy in my face would be dead, 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 dead. Wasted too much time being nice, being sweet, being such a nice guy. It's wet. You picked the wrong day to piss me off. What you deserve, you will get. Some advice for you. You better run like hell from here. I try to warn you not to push me. Was not my fault. What happened next? I was out of control. The rage is feeling my mind. Getting louder than I was blind. Just out of control, I was seeing the red. The guy in my face would be dead, 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 dead. I've lost my mind.
That was the Renegades and Out of Control. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Darren. Good evening, Lance.
Good evening, Darren. Good evening, Doug.
That sounds like the end of the Waltons, doesn't it?
Oh, the two Ronnies.
Good night, John boy.
It's good evening from me, and it's good evening from them. I was having a look around YouTube this evening and noticed that there's a particular account that keeps commenting on all of the popular YouTube videos that are out there. And this account is actually two grumpy old men who keep making comments about how appalling these videos are. And it's the two old men from the Muppets.
Oh, what are the names?
Statler and Waldorf.
Statler and Waldorf, that's it.
Statler and Waldorf. I didn't even know they had names.
Yeah.
Is it ever mentioned?
Not
or is
sure.
it just one of those geeky things that you have to be a Muppet geek to know?
Yeah.
No, I think it was common knowledge. I don't think they kept it secret.
And I did get the Muppet annual every year, so their names are well known.
Yeah, but Lance, do you still have it?
No.
Somehow I imagined you would.
You got the Muppet annual every year. Well, you wouldn't get it every month, would you?
Oh, very funny.
So I went back to have a look at the what was the names? Waldorf and what?
Statler and Waldorf.
Statler. I went back to have a look at their profile, and they've actually been making comments on a whole bunch of other videos that have been posted by other members of the Muppet cast. So you've got like Gonzo with his little choir of chickens, and you've got Beaker who's done a few videos as well. And
I always love Beaker.
Beaker and the Doctor, I think they're my favourite characters.
Bunsen burner, Dr. Bunsen burner.
That's it, yeah.
And the Swedish chef.
Put the chicken in the oven.
The funny thing is that the American Eagle has actually got a video up there, and he says, well, this is on the worldwide internet. Can't it just be on the American bit?
Sam, his name is.
Sam the American Eagle, and he's actually doing, I think it's like the American National Anthem or something like that. And part of the group that he's got is the Swedish chef. And it's like, oh, hang on a second. Patriotism, Swedish chef, no. Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is leading to a revival or Muppet Online or something. So I should definitely be keeping my eye out on that. But it was reminiscent to actually see these characters again after sort of such a long time of just seeing repeats and the old stuff. It's quite fun.
Well, I hope
so is it a legitimate Jim Henson thing, or is it a rip-off? Is it somebody doing sort of like, a copy of the Muppets?
Well, I don't know. They certainly seem to be the top quality puppets, but then I guess you can probably buy top quality Muppet puppets anyway.
Muppet puppets. That sounds like a sex toy.
The new Ann Summers Muppet puppet.
So there was no sort of mention of the Henson Corporation or no sort of plugging what it's going to be. So it could still be just a bunch of amateurs, but it's quite good. I'll put links in there to actually show you the ones that I'm referring to, because there's quite a lot of different Muppet videos out there. Yeah, YouTube is full of Muppets.
But we knew that already.
I mean, we'll soon know if it's a legitimate Henson thing, because if it's not, then of course they'll be badgered to take it down.
I don't know, because a lot of the old episodes and stuff are up there, and they've not been badgered to take them down. So
it is becoming a bit of a trend, though. I did read in the news earlier on in the week that a woman had been ordered by Universal Music to take down a video of her 13-month-old son dancing to Prince's Let's Go Crazy.
Yeah, well, that is crazy, yeah.
Now, the point with that was that the clip was only 30 seconds long, so they've actually gone to court over it, because she's claiming that it's only 30 seconds, so she's allowed to use it over the fair usage policy, which, I mean, we've exploited a couple of times on this show, haven't we, when we did the covers show? We were playing 30-second clips of covers, because we're under the understanding that anything under 30 seconds you're legally allowed to use. But Universal have disagreed with it, and it's now gone to court.
So what are they going to do? Take half of the profit that she's made from posting this non-profit video?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a stupid thing, isn't it? I mean, really, what's their problem? I mean, good God, get out.
I would do exactly that. So they come to us and we say, okay, we'll give you half the profits that we've taken from the show.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That wouldn't be enough. They probably want 80% of the profits.
Okay, they can have 80% of it, all right. That's fine with me.
Of nothing,
still nothing.
When you're born with nothing, what are you left with?
Nothing!
Man's got his woman to take his seed. He's got the power, she's got the need. She spends her life through pleasing up her man. She feeds him dinner or anything she can. She cries alone at night too often. He smokes and drinks and don't come home at all. Only women bleed. at all. Only women bleed. 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 Black eyes all of the time. Don't spend a dime. Clean up this crime. And you there, down on your knees, begging me, please come watch me bleed. Watch me Only women bleed. 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 I'm a woman, and I speak to all the women in America, all the women in Afghanistan, all the women in Africa, to the women of the world. Don't let your men bring you down. Just kick that jackass out of town. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. And don't let your man hurt you. Just call on your sisters, and your sisters will be there. Only women bleed. 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 Only women bleed.
Wednesday there with Only Women Bleed, which those of you who have taste in music will know is an old Alice Cooper song from the album Welcome to My Nightmare. And I have to say that was a pretty good version up until the point at which she decided to turn it into an I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar song, which it never was in the first place. But yeah, that was pretty entertaining. I quite like that actually, a soulful version of that song. It's a good song.
You mean Alice Cooper didn't sing I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar?
No, he didn't. Not that I recall, anyway. I'm sure
With
he
a
didn't.
name like Alice, I thought you might have known.
Hey, it was named after a snake. Leave him alone.
Okay.
So, and actually, talking about old songs, that leads me in quite well to what I want to talk about, which is my wife and I tend to have a lot of spare time on our hands. And last week we had a lot of spare time on our hands. So we decided to sit down and take a look at a phenomenon called Dark Side of the Rainbow. And what this is it's a theory of coincidence between the album Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd and The Wizard of Oz. And there's a long-held belief or an urban legend that if you play Dark Side of the Moon along with Wizard of Oz, there are an awful lot of coincidences that go beyond being pure coincidence, and there's some that believe that Pink Floyd actually wrote the album as a sort of soundtrack to The Wizard of Oz. Now, being incredibly lazy, we weren't inclined to put the CD on and the video and time it all up. Thankfully, YouTube being the wonder that it is, there's a guy on there that split the whole lot down into, I think, about 18 or 19 different sections, so you can listen to them chunks at a time. And we sat down and we went through it and we had a listen and a watch. And I have to say, although I don't hold and I don't think that Floyd did it deliberately, some of the coincidences are pretty staggering. There's certain things that occur at certain points. For example, right at the beginning, when Floyd is singing about riding on the biggest wave, you can see Dorothy standing on a fence exactly like she's surfing. When money kicks in, the sounds of the cash register beginning, and the movie changes from black and white to colour, and some argue that this is Pink Floyd's reference to money and colour and capitalism. But the thing I have to say that we found most interesting was watching the dancing and the movement of the people. And it was staggering just how often, when you saw people dancing, they were dancing perfectly in time to the Pink Floyd music. And certain percussive acts, like the scarecrow falling over and changes in scenes and stuff like that, would fall perfectly on rhythm. And it was pretty fascinating. So have either of you two guys ever sat down and wasted an evening doing that?
No.
I've seen some of the YouTube clips that you were talking about. I did an entire evening of looking at YouTube on the whole Wizard of Oz stuff, because there's a lot of conspiracy stuff around Wizard of Oz with the hanging dwarf and all that stuff as well. Did you see any of that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, and apparently it was a crow flying out the tree, but then again, conspiracy theorists are diehards, to say the very least.
Absolutely. No, I've not actually heard the full album, but I saw certainly the videos that tied the two together, and it's very interesting.
Now to play...
it is.
Sorry, I was going to say, now to play devil's advocate on this, not having done it fully yourself, not actually having put the film on and the CD at the same time, is it possible that the guy could have edited it around to fit? Because he's broken it down into sections. Could he have sort of made more of it than it is by sort of slightly tweaking it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's something I discussed with my wife. It's a definite possibility. Plus, as well, I mean, something you have to consider with Dark Side of the Moon is you start it off with the heartbeats and you follow the rhythm of the heartbeat. The heartbeat rhythm actually carries through the entire album. And it's pretty much, it stays in sequence. So you can look at it and say, well, if one piece of dancing is going to be in time, then it follows that the rest are going to be in time. The best part for me, and I think the most enjoyable part, was the song Great Gig in the Sky, which, if you don't know, is it's a piano piece with a lady, I can't remember her name.
Oh, is this the very operatic thing at the end?
That's it, yeah, and she's basically just doing a vocal, I suppose you call it a vocal melody, there's no words to it, over the top of the piano piece. Now that plays at the beginning when the tornado turns up, and the passion and rhythm of the song, when it picks up tempo, when it slows down, when it becomes quiet, when it becomes powerful and passionate, fit amazingly well with the tornado sequence, to the point where when right at the end of the tornado, when it all starts to calm down, the song starts to calm down, and Dorothy is actually falling asleep at the point at which the song calms down. And there were several times throughout the whole movie where my wife and I would just look at each other and grin like stupid school children, because we're like, okay, well, that's a little weird.
Yeah, I'd like to actually see it. Do you have links to the videos themselves on YouTube so we can put them in the show notes?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll pop them in the show notes at the end. Just set yourself a long amount of time, and I hope you're a Pink Floyd fan, because it requires 3 run-throughs of the album to complete the whole movie. So if you don't like Floyd, you're going to be bored very quickly.
Well, I do like Floyd, so...
The only other thing is that we've experienced this ourselves when we tried to synchronise the voices from the three of us over, what was it, half an hour. We found that the computer systems were slightly different and had problems. So with the Pink Floyd album originally being on vinyl, the Wizard of Oz being cellulite, Surely,
Celluloid.
is it celluloid? Celluloid.
Celluloid.
That'll be the one. Celluloid.
Wizard of Oz was fat.
Yeah, we can edit that bit out. Then the synchronization between the two would have been a bit dodgy, even at the best of times. It's only now that we can adjust everything by the fraction of a beat. We can make it all match up.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and I mean they do talk about the fact that this whole theory kind of started to surface in the 90s, which of course is when DVD and digital technology really started taking off. But there are those that argue that you can do it with a standard VHS video cassette and the original vinyl, and apparently the key is to start the album on the third roar of the MGM line at the beginning.
Lights burn out, Darren original, ruin tradition also. Keep moving, everyone's watching and scoring at every move. They're feeling it could pay out, it's happened away somehow. And every time it works out, you'd like to cash out. Tell me there is that reason to keep bullshit on our side. I could be wrong, but I'm feeling stand strong. If you try your numbers now, you got me thinking about routine and dollar signs. We could all read out the biggest part of what could happen, ciphered without that perception. Try your numbers now, you got me thinking about routine and dollar signs. And we're all about the biggest part of what could happen, ciphered without that perception. That we are destined and not testing out our luck. All of the hands we hold, we're losing in stamina, so say this scene. Everyone's watching a scripted lullaby. Whatever your heart may feel won't amount to the sex appeal. And every time it works out, you'd like to cash out. Tell me there is a reason to keep bullshit on our side. I guess I could be wrong, but my feelings stand strong. If you try your numbers now, you got me thinking about routine and dollar signs. We could all read out the biggest part of what could happen, ciphered without that perception. Try your numbers now, you got me thinking about routine and dollar signs. And we're all about the biggest part of what could happen, ciphered without that perception. Shame on brands our teeth at the thought of our competition fading. We'll speak in monologues. Well, I am waiting. This could be the testers are so state of the lights burn out. Dreams are an original, ruin tradition also. Everyone's watching and scoring at every move. They're feeling it could pay out, it's happened away somehow. If you play your numbers now, you've got me thinking about routine and dollar signs. We could only read out the biggest part of what could happen, ciphered without that perception. Try your numbers now, you've got me thinking about routine and dollar signs. And we're all about the biggest
And that was Goodnight Sunrise with Routine and Dollar Signs. Now, I've had one piece of feedback this week, which kind of leads me on to my topic, from Mark, the Stainless Steel Rat. Remember a couple of weeks ago, it may even have been last week's show, Darren, I can't remember. We were talking, it was last week, we were talking about Top Golf, weren't we?
Yes.
And we sort of veered onto SatNavs.
Yes.
Yes. Who was that you sighing there, Doug?
Yes, it was.
Why? Because you haven't listened to the show yet?
Well, no, that and the fact that we only ever get feedback when I'm not on the show. Feel unloved.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, SatNavs. And if you remember, you were saying about the SatNav around the area of Watford where the Top Golf is tends to go a bit screwy and tries to take you down one-way streets and places that you can't actually go. Yep. Right.
Yep. Yes, apparently he remembers that.
Yes.
I didn't realise that whole sentence started with "Do you remember?" Sorry.
Listen, damn it. Well, this one's slightly worse. I say Mark that sent this to us. Right. In an epic multinational SatNav cock-up, a Syrian lorry driver aiming for Gibraltar left Turkey and ended up in Skegness.
Okay, hang on a minute. Say that again.
Okay. In an epic multinational SatNav cock-up, a Syrian lorry driver aiming for Gibraltar left Turkey and ended up in Skegness. Okay.
How?
Okay. I'm not going to pronounce his name because Christ knows how you do it. But the driver inched his 32-ton car transporter down a narrow Lincolnshire lane leading to Gibraltar Point. And then he realised that he'd taken a wrong turn. But at this point, the lorry had become stuck. Turning the vehicle back round took almost an hour. The bewildered driver explained to curious passing twitchers that he was looking for Coral Road, Gibraltar, and Stephen Humphreys then whipped out his laptop and solved the problem. I had my laptop and I found the place on Gibraltar, the benign bird botherer told The Sun. Amazingly, the guy didn't seem too upset. Yeah, so that's one hell of a SatNav cock-up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Dave. Dave just commented in the room that surely arriving in the UK should have raised alarm bells.
Well, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you? Unless he didn't know where Gibraltar was.
Is Gibraltar still under British control?
It is, yeah.
So maybe he just got confused and figured it was Gibraltar customs.
Yeah, but that's a slight detour, isn't it?
But there's always been they're insane about how some of these European lorry drivers have got nothing more than a car license, and they sort of get into a lorry and they're probably concentrating more on how to keep the thing going forward than anything else. You get like these horror stories about them sort of taking out cyclists and driving away without knowing.
So you wouldn't know in a truck.
Well, yeah, but these guys really don't know. They could probably take out another vehicle and not know that. Because they've not got the same sort of training.
Well, I don't think you'd need training to notice that you'd just knocked a car.
I don't know.
Gee, I have to say, I don't use any kind of sat-nav or anything like that. I rely on my wife, which is probably even worse, because she tends to go, "Oh, that was your turn."
You want to turn left 50 yards ago.
No, not your left, my left. That's
what she says is, "You want to turn up there." I'm like, up where? Left, right, up ahead? Oh.
My dad's even worse, actually. If you're sitting in a car with him and you're driving and he's directing you, he doesn't say a word. He just vaguely motions in the direction you want to turn. So he just kind of lifts his hand and sort of vaguely waves to the right, like, "What, here? Well, yeah."
Do you know, somehow I can picture your dad doing that.
Which is why I use my sat-nav.
Actually, in answer to Leonie's question, no, not all women are like that. And in fairness to my wife, she's actually very good at directions. I'm just, as Lance I'm sure will back up, I'm just incredibly impatient.
And stubborn and self-opinionated and Honestly,
I wouldn't be anything other than self-opinionated, would I?
Well, no,
Looking
all
at
right,
somebody
shut
else's
up. But the scary thing is, this weekend I'm off on holiday, and I'm going to Mablethorpe, which any of you might know is literally about 5 miles from Skegness. So I'm really hoping I don't end up in Gibraltar.
Oh, that wouldn't be so bad.
Well, it would. I don't have a passport. So if I manage to get there, there's a bit of a problem.
I just hope when you come over here, Lance, that the SatNav in the airplane's working, because otherwise that's a long way to get lost, fella.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So if you're going to be away, is it all next week, or is it just a few days, or what?
It's just the weekend. I'm going up on tomorrow afternoon and coming back on Sunday.
Oh, I was just concerned that you weren't going to break your continuous run of being able to be here for recording the show next week.
31 shows and still not missed one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right, don't rub it in.
How many have you done, Doug? 4?
I think I could be into double figures by now.
I'll have to listen back and verify that.
What, you mean you actually listen to the shows afterwards?
Oh yeah, yeah, more
He's
than
all
one
into the
occasion.
statistics.
Oh, I am very much into the figures.
Oh, I'm going to resist the urge to be crude. Move on, gentlemen.
Well, we've got nothing to move on to.
Yes, we have.
Have we?
Contact information.
Oh God, contact information. How could I forget the contact info? This is why we don't get any comments when you're on the show, Doug, because we get that involved. We forget to do it.
Well, there you go, you see. That's the art of good conversation.
Yeah, but
you
Or
would like,
bullshit.
if you would like,
and there goes the clean tag again.
Well,
if you would like to leave a telephone message for us, a voicemail message, you would be the first. And the number is 07092 274 759.
If you'd like to
If you'd like to take Lance's place in recording next week,
I can't use the deck, I can't speak, I'll get my coat. If you'd like to send us an email, our email address is ddl.podshow@googlemail.com.
and if you'd like to visit us on the web, it's www.dumbeddownlife.com.
And one more. What's the other
And
one?
we grind to a halt like a bad train.
The Twitter address, that was it, Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter, not that you probably want to, and our username is Dumbed Down Life. How professional is this show?
this week has been, not too good this week.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with somebody getting us off to a bad start. It's not our fault, Darren. We're entirely professional.
It's my fault, I threw you, didn't I?
Yeah, I actually turn up and you screw it up.
Well, shall we
Bit
quit?
like when we used to play in bands.
Thank you very much. Shall we quit while we're behind?
We shall indeed.
Right.
Goodbye, everyone.
We'll see you
It's
next
all right.
week.